Excelsior! So I'm going to read Adventure Comics number 232. This was published in January of 1957. So Adventure Comics.
Amazing! A huge fragment of Krypton landed right here in Smallville. And there's the home of Jor-El, Superboy's father. My nursery, my toys, Dad's lab, all down there. But I can't go near it because of kryptonite.
Thrill to the secrets that are revealed in the house where Superboy was born. Superboy, the adventures of Superman when he was a boy.
But I must go in. It's more important than anything I ever had to do.
And it says, danger warning, Superboy, keep out. Solid kryptonite. Years ago, torn by internal explosion, a planet was destroyed. But moments before it blew up, an infant was sent by rocket ship to safety on Earth. That planet was Krypton, and the infant grew up to be Superboy. Now, when a fragment of that same planet lands on Earth, the Boy of Steel faces the greatest danger and strangest adventure of his career as he attempts to uncover the secret concealed in the house where Superboy was born. Early one morning, a huge object comes hurtling out of space and lands with tremendous force near the town of Smallville. Immediately, in the home of young Clark Kent,
that noise. I better switch to Superboy and see what caused it.
But when he peers out with his telescopic vision...
What? I can't believe it. Dad, get your telescope and tell me if you see the same thing. Stay here with our son, Martha. I never seen him so shaken before. What could possibly have disturbed him so?
Shortly, as Dad Kent looks through his telescope, he sees
part of a city block, a city such as was never seen on Earth. But why are you so upset, son? Don't you know what city, Dad? Train your telescope through the second window of that red and blue house. All right, son. Why, there's a picture of a man who resembles you, son. And his name is Jor-El. That man must be your... Yes, my real father. That city block is a fragment of my destroyed native planet, Krypton. And, by some quirk of fate, it contains the very house in which I was born. Sure, there's my nursery, my crib, Dad's lab, where he made many great scientific discoveries. I'd give anything to go into those rooms, to sit in my father's chair. But I can't. Because the explosion of Krypton converted that block into a solid piece of kryptonite. The substance that can't harm ordinary humans, but is deadly to me. Everyone in Smallville is streaming toward that block, and I'm the only one who can't go. I think I'd give up all my superpowers, if only I could. We know how you feel, son.
So it's a sad and homesick Superboy who scours every inch of his birthplace from a distance.
My Kryptonian playthings, my baby pictures, and what? That paper. It's incredible. I must look more closely.
Narrowing down his telescopic vision, he reads, "To my son, if by some chance this part of Krypton survives the explosion I predicted,
and you survived the rocket journey into space, on which I launched you as an infant. I wish you to do 3 things so that the memory of our great world will survive in men's hearts. Build a suitable memorial to Krypton. Find and save another planet, which, like Krypton, is about to be destroyed. And read all the great classics of Krypton, so that our culture will be stored in your heart. Your loving father, Jor-El. Yes, Father. I will do everything you ask. Though I can't go into my house, I can read those books from here, with my X-ray vision. I'll just look till I find them.
But after a painstaking search of every nook and cranny...
Funny. There are no books anywhere. Maybe Dad hid them somewhere. To test me. There's only one thing for me to do, dangerous as it may be.
Seconds later, in a remote area, the Boy of Steel plunges deep into the earth, slicing through bedrock with indestructible ease. And, only moments after that,
Lead shields the rays of kryptonite, and though I've never faced a mass even 1,000th time the size of that one, I must take a chance and fashion a lead suit to protect me when I go in.
Soon, a grotesque figure approaches the sole remaining segment of ancient Krypton.
It has no effect on me yet, so I guess it's safe to...
Superboy, stop! I'm Professor Wilson, and this is Professor Holter. We flew here as soon as we heard what happened. We want to warn you. We've both studied the effects that kryptonite has had on you in the past, and we believe that such a mass of it may be fatal to you, even in your lead covering. Please, Earth needs you. Don't go a step farther.
Well, if you say so. I'll try to fulfill Jor-El's other requests first, and then maybe I'll think of something.
Later, at a nearby junkyard,
I could build a memorial bigger and more permanent than the pyramids. But somehow, I don't think that would be suitable. For what I'm planning, I need a huge metal scoop.
soon,
I'll dig up tons of earth that are useless in these wastelands, and dump it all on this condemned swamp outside of Smallville.
in the minutes that follow, Superboy becomes a whirlwind of activity.
No one will miss trees and rare plants from this impenetrable jungle area. I'll need crushed rock for walks, and iron for seats and decorations.
Thus, a while later,
This should preserve Krypton's memory for a long, long time, though it can't be complete till I learn more about my native planet from those books. I must try again to locate them.
but after another thorough search,
Still no sign of them. What does it mean? Jor-El wouldn't give me an empty task. I'm sure I could solve the riddle, if I could just get inside. I might as well start on the second task, by combing the cosmos for a doomed planet. Yet, my father's legacy will be unfulfilled if I don't solve the dilemma of those missing classics.
so the Boy of Steel searches from planet to planet, from one solar system to another, in the endless waste of space.
No sign of danger to that planet of strange flying people, nor to that of walking plant life. And those fire dwellers seem safe enough. Golly, it may take months before I find a planet whose people are doomed.
But only days later,
Those people look dejected. All of them. And that strange far-off glare. I better investigate it.
Within minutes, Superboy spots the answer.
That giant comet, heading straight for them. It will destroy their world with its heat. They must realize that, and I must help them. Let's see. That weird spiraling rock on a distant asteroid should do the trick. I'll get it at once.
An instant later,
Snap! It's sturdy enough. I'll just pluck it off and fly with it in the heart of the comet. By whirling at super speed, I'm breaking the comet into millions of harmless fragments, scattering the flaming gas all over space.
after completely destroying the menace,
Say, those metallic particles near the more solid body of the comet. This is amazing. I must examine them with my microscopic vision.
moments later, a strange smile lighting his face, Superboy approaches the planet he has saved.
Skalangi, ga vos pras. Skalangi, Skalangi.
They know I saved their planet, and they're thanking me. Thank Krypton. Krypton is responsible for your escape.
Scrang, Klilangi, Krypton. Krypton, Skrangalangi.
Now, all their books and legends will tell how Krypton saved them. And so it did, through my father's legacy. I performed his first 2 requests, and now, maybe I can do his third.
The Boy of Steel speeds back to Smallville, where a strange surprise awaits him.
What? People? From Krypton? In the memorial park I made? I don't understand.
While you were away, Superboy, the Smallville Town Council voted to establish a National Krypton Week to be held yearly and honor your planet. Since you can't go there, we bring part of Krypton to you.
I am deeply grateful. However, I think I can visit my home, and I will.
No, Superboy. We can't spare you.
Please, stop! It may be fatal. At least, wear that lead suit.
Ignoring all frantic pleas, Superboy strides on, until...
I don't understand. It is genuine kryptonite, isn't it?
Yes, but out in space, I smashed a comet and noticed tiny particles of kryptonite attracted to the heavier gases. Examining them with my microscopic vision, I saw they were coated with strange molecules from the comet itself. No wonder that kryptonite didn't weaken me. Molecules from the comet's gases must shield the deadly rays. If that kryptonite is part of what landed on Earth, I can picture just what happened. On its way through space, that Krypton block must have passed through the comet. I'll examine it when I return, and if it's coated with those same molecules, it'll be safe for me to enter. How ironic. Performing my father's second request made it possible to do his last. And now, please leave me alone with these memories of my childhood.
Of course, Superboy.
Alone, Superboy proceeds to search for the lost books of Krypton.
Not a sign of them, yet. My father, Jor-El, wouldn't have tricked me. Somehow, I must have failed him.
Deeply anguished, Superboy stares silently, a lone, forlorn sob escaping his lips, when suddenly...
Hello, son. This image comes from a hidden projector, coated with a paint I invented to make it invisible. It was set to go off when and if you cried, only to the sound of your cry. which I recorded when you were an infant.
My father, Jor-El.
I knew if you did cry, it would mean you were deeply touched by the sight of these tokens of your past, and your inability to follow my wishes. Only then did I want you to read these books. On film. Watch.
Amazing scenes follow, recorded from Krypton's greatest classics.
This is the story of the great white sea monster, Kali Jalin, and a man's grim determination to destroy him. And here, the great book which depicts the Krypton jungles, their charm, mystery, and danger.
On and on as the hours pass, the projector throws its strange images, while Superboy sits, enthralled.
This book, entitled The Last War, which tells how Krypton abolished war finally, so that it might forever devote its talents to searching for wisdom and a better way of life.
Finally, the projector clicks off, and Superboy stands in the hushed, silent dark.
Now I know what my home is like. Its people, and what they believed in. They were a wonderful people, and I'm proud to be one of them.
All at once,
What's happening? Weak. I can't move. Never felt so weak before.
meanwhile, some distance away,
I wonder what happened to Superboy. He's been in there so long.
That glow, the coating of protective molecules. It's being corroded by Earth's atmosphere. Those are kryptonite rays. Call an ambulance.
soon afterward, Superboy's inert form is carried out, and an ambulance speeds away, farther and farther away from the mystic, ominous, glowing block. He is getting stronger. The farther we move from that place, the firmer his pulse beat. He'll revive soon. Sure enough, a short time later, you're lucky we got you out before all the protective coating was corroded, or you'd be gone. In any event, you can't ever approach within miles of Smallville.
No, I lost one home when Krypton was destroyed, and I don't want to be exiled from my other. I must find a way of sending that piece of Krypton back into space.
For long moments, Superboy ponders, and then repairs to the bottom of Smallville River, where
I must gather all the scrap metal I can find, fashion a giant crowbar, many miles long, and a huge steel block.
after some frenzied super work,
I'll pry one end under the Krypton block, and the rest, the center of my crowbar, on that steel block, making a gigantic seesaw. By jumping with super force on this end of the crowbar, I exert enough pressure to send the Krypton block catapulting skyward.
afterward, Superboy stares into space, watching the dwindling, disappearing block with telescopic vision.
There it goes, to wander forever in the trackless paths of space, all that's left of what was once the greatest world in the universe.
And so, days later,
Now I can complete this park, knowing all I do about my native planet. Earth may be my home, and that Krypton block may be gone forever, but Krypton itself will always be deep in my heart.
Aquaman. The U.S. Navy is always on the lookout for bright and brave young men to man its ships, but never in the history of our maritime service has it ever had a seaman like Aquaman. That's why Blue Jackets will always remember the amazing events that occur when Aquaman joins the Navy.
I'll make a good seaman out of you, if it's the last thing I ever do.
Yes, sir.
One day, as Aquaman patrols the waters aboard his trusted sea steed, Topo the Octopus,
3 rocket flares shot at different levels. That's Admiral Hanley's secret signal to me. Hope nothing's wrong. Let's make tracks, Topo.
Soon after, on the Admiral's flagship,
Hello, Admiral Hanley. No trouble, I hope?
None at all, Aquaman. I just wanted to ask if you do me a personal favor by joining the Navy as an ordinary seaman.
You want me to join the Navy?
Just for a few days. We're starting a new recruiting drive, and showing you in uniform would get us fine publicity.
Aye, aye, Admiral. Where shall I report for duty?
Aboard the USSS Clay, which is heading to port. Here are your credentials and uniform. And good luck, Aquaman.
sometime later, as a new hand appears aboard the USS Clay,
Great seahorses! Now they must be dropping raw recruits at me from out of the sky. Fine time to join the ship when the voyage is almost over.
This Chief Petty Officer, Freems, is really tough.
But if you think you're getting out of your share of the work, you're mistaken. I'll have plenty for you to do.
I think I'll keep my identity secret and teach him a good lesson. Yes, sir.
Get busy and join these 2 men here in scrubbing down the deck. I'll give you an hour to finish the job.
An hour? We couldn't do it all in 5 hours. Now we're in for it. If we don't finish it in time, he'll take away our shore leaves.
Don't worry. Just bring up every mop you can lay your hands on, and leave the rest to me.
shortly,
There are the buckets and mops, but what's the good? We still only got 2 hands apiece.
That's true, but my friends have a lot more.
Octopuses! Dozens of them!
next instant, as the Sea King's subjects go into action,
This is sure one for the books. Say, who are you anyway? Aquaman?
Do I look like Aquaman?
The deck's all soaped up fine, but how we get it rinsed off?
That's even easier.
another signal to his finny friends, and
Woo! Clean as a whistle. And all it took was...
I'm getting frames. Wait till he sees this.
but when the Chief Petty Officer arrives,
You couldn't have gotten it clean in such a short time, without putting the whole crew to work. Admit it.
No, sir. The crew wasn't even on deck, sir.
just then,
Sir, the dishwashing machine broke down. Last night's dinnerware is still stacked to the ceiling.
Oh no! Follow me, men.
soon below deck,
This is terrible, sir. We're due in port for inspection in a couple of hours. And when the Admiral spots this mess, we'll be disgraced.
No, we won't, because they'll be washed by hand. And since you're such a speed demon sailor, I'm placing you in charge. There are thousands of these greasy dishes. We'll never get them clean in time.
Relax, boys. I've got the best kitchen detail in the world.
and once again, as Aquaman uses his amazing powers to summon his subjects from the sea,
Now I've seen everything. A chute made of attached eels? But the cold seawater will never get the grease off those dishes.
I know. That's why I'm having them sent down a couple of fathoms, where there's a layer of warm Gulf Stream water.
Are you kidding?
Just stay put, and you'll find out.
soon, fathoms below,
The sponges moving back and forth across the plates
are doing a fine job. Minutes later,
Hurry! Frames is about to leave the bridge to examine the dishes. We're almost finished.
sure enough, by the time the astonished officer arrives,
It's impossible. You didn't have time to get them all this clean. How'd you do it? Speak up.
well, sir. But before Aquaman can explain,
Look! A big storm has blown up. It'll make us late for rendezvous with the flagship.
Oh, everything happens to me.
and as Freems reaches the bridge,
Worse, sir. An old deserted wreck is coming right at us. We'll never be able to avoid a collision.
Well, don't everybody just stand there. Do something.
Yes, sir!
Hey, come back. Does that crazy rookie think he can sink a ship by himself?
as the ghost ship moves dangerously close to the destroyer, first, I'll take care of this old wreck by having the swordfish punch holes in its hull. Seconds later, when Aquaman returns to the bridge,
He did it. He sank the ship. I must be dreaming. I don't suppose you can also get rid of those giant waves that are making us late.
I can try, sir. Next instant, as scores of whales surface at the summons of their sea king, that's it. We'll form a living breakwater on all sides of the destroyer. Thus, a while later, clear sailing ahead, sir.
It's calm all around the ship, but rough beyond. Oh, I must be having a nightmare.
But when the destroyer later welcomes Admiral Haney aboard,
Young men of the nation, do what Aquaman did. Join the Navy.
Aquaman. I should have known.
and after the telecast,
Freems, I must compliment you on the cleanliness of your ship.
Well, sir, I've been getting some pretty good men lately.
and that's the end of that story. Little Pete.
Pete, we're going to Gwen's birthday party. Run upstairs and change your clothes. Don't forget to put on your new suit.
Yes, Mom.
Hurry, Pete. Are you almost ready?
Coming, Mom.
Pete, what did I tell you to put on?
My newest suit. And this is my newest. You just bought it for me yesterday.
Shorty by Henry Bogdanoff.
Looks like he's trying to catch that train. Didn't make it! Too bad. Were you trying to catch that train?
No, I was only chasing it out of the station.
Bolt from the blue. Dangerous and often deadly, lightning also has caused odd things to happen. The little party struggled to reach the summit of Pike's Peak. Then, another phase of their job began. Diligently, the men set about to erect a stone structure, and, after several painstaking, torturous weeks, finally finished the job by installing a wind vane and an anemometer, an instrument whose rotating cups measure wind velocity, atop the roof. Inside, a barometer and a telegraph set comprised the rest of the equipment. And shortly, the men began to chart nature's whims and ways, for this was the highest weather station built up to that time, and the men who scaled the peak in that year of 1874 were pioneers prepared to brave any peril to achieve their purpose. To observe the weather vane and anemometer meant ascending the roof. Neither rain nor snow, cold nor heat, harassed the observer. It was the wild electrical storms that did. And, as recorded in the diary later filed in the high-altitude observatory at Boulder, Colorado, They frightened the wits out of the men. Here is one report. Heavy thunder and lightning all day. Bright sparks flew around the office, so that several members of the team wrapped themselves in blankets for protection. Another time, when Robert Saboff, who commanded the station, mounted the roof, he was startled to note that every hair on his head crackled and stood on end. Small, fierce lightning strokes flashed from his fingertips. His alarm mounted when a bolt hurled him from the roof. Saboff scrambled up from the ground, scurried to safety within the station. There were many similarly strange and frightening experiences. Years before, Ben Franklin had asserted that lightning is a form of electricity. And today, the 500 deaths attributed to lightning each year in this country are the chief reason for the work accomplished by General Electric's high-voltage engineering laboratory at Pittsfield, Massachusetts. How to control lightning, reduce deaths, and damage to property is the program of dedicated scientists. Fear isn't listed in their vocabulary. Creating artificial thunderbolts, they hurl them at vehicles, trees, houses, power lines, sports equipment, bridges, replicas of men and machines. Genuine bolts are trapped by photographs, and equipment has been devised to enable the daring men to study lightning as it lashes out. Once, they observed a giant bolt that generated enough energy to light up 300,000 houses. What is lightning? It is electricity created by positive and negative charges, and since the dawn of history, it has fascinated and frightened men. It has brought death and disaster. But, being capricious by nature, its behavior also has been tinged with humor. A New England housewife was asleep in her bed when a bolt sizzled through her window. Her hair was set with bobby pins. The flash electrified the pins, transforming them into small curling irons. Imagine her surprise when she glanced into the mirror to see that not a hair had been scorched, but that she now had a permanent wave. A driver highballing his truck on a southern highway was shocked to see his van lashed by lightning. When the cargo was unloaded, all the meat had been broiled. During the war, so I guess World War II, a GI and a German confronted one another with bayonet-tipped rifles. Peals of thunder and booming cannon fire tore the countryside. Abruptly, a blaze of lightning knifed through the air, struck the GI's bayonet in a shimmer of sparks. Both soldiers gasped at the phenomena. His weapon's wooden stock short-circuited the lightning, prevented it from coursing down and injuring the GI, perhaps fatally. The overawed German turned and fled. In the California suburb, a jagged streak of lightning landed on a warehouse, instantly setting it ablaze. A second bolt, moments later, struck a fire alarm on the corner, setting it ringing and summoning firemen who soon after extinguished the fire. Lightning indeed has caused weird things to happen. An Indiana farmer reported that a bolt had burned through his potato patch during a storm. When he dug up his potatoes, at the end of the season, they were roasted to a turn. Another item that is a candidate for Ripley's Believe It or Not concerns a Washington church. When a bolt hit the belfry, it set off the automatic chimes, which produced an hour-long program of hymns. An Illinois chicken raiser claimed that he had gone to inspect his coops after they'd been belted by a stroke. Some of the chickens had been fried on the spot, and the eggs were hard-boiled. Animals have had peculiar experiences with lightning. A horse, out in his Vermont pasture, was struck once It knocked off his 4 shoes, but he remained otherwise uninjured. In Scotland, lightning killed all the white sheep, but never harmed any of the black sheep in the flock. A Welshman saw his cow struck by a jagged fork. Later, when he milked her, he was astonished to see steaming hot milk stream into the pail. But few victims are as lucky as the lad who sought shelter under a tree in his wagon. A savage stroke felled the tree and demolished his wagon, but he survived without so much as a scratch. For lightning is a wild and wicked thing, as deadly as it is unpredictable, and while scientists are trying to trap and understand its nature, while some are trying to find a method of harnessing its powerful savage energy so that it might serve some useful purpose, it remains a danger that cannot be minimized. The next time a storm looms and lightning threatens, the best advice is to stay indoors and stay alive.
So I'm going to try out a new voice for Green Arrow, so just let me know in the comments if you like it better than the old voice.
But the Green Arrow! What incredible power possessed Green Arrow to shoot his special arrows in strict alphabetical sequence? This was the startling question that had to be answered before the famed archer could hope to solve the case of the ABC arrows.
What can it all mean, Green Arrow? You're firing arrows in alphabetical order, the way this Underworld book has listed them.
Underworld protection. A for armor arrow. B, boxing glove arrow. Cutlass arrow, C. D for dynamite arrow.
I can't understand it, Speedy.
At the annual Rare Diamonds exhibition, 2 famed lawmen join the admiring throngs.
Look at this, Speedy. A typewriter with blue-white diamond keys.
Psst. Green Arrow, I got something special to show you. See? I made it in honor of you. An arrow cut from a perfect diamond. Look at it closely. Observe its luster and brilliance.
Why, it's fascinating. Beautiful.
Minutes afterward,
GA, what's keeping you? Better go now. Your young assistant's calling you.
Yes.
I'm coming, Speedy. That evening, as the 2 crime fighters relax in their real-life roles of wealthy Oliver Queen and his young ward, Roy Harper.
No rest tonight, Roy. There's the police arrow signal.
I'm ready for action, Oliver.
As Green Arrow and Speedy race to the scene of a holdup,
Crooks, robbing the car barn payroll office. Quick, Speedy, the armor arrow.
GA, are you serious? You should have realized that when the timing mechanism opened the bulletproof shield, it wouldn't be able to pass the trolley wire.
You're right. That was a poor choice, Speedy.
Green Arrow! Let's scram in the armored car!
quickly, the archers close in.
I'll stop them with a boxing glove arrow.
What? That couldn't possibly penetrate their car. Looks like I'd better do the job with one of my shafts. The hammer arrow did the job by smashing the door open.
Great thunder. Why did I ever try the boxing glove arrow against that steel-plated vehicle? Well, thanks to you, Speedy, we managed to recover the loot.
What's this pamphlet they dropped? Why, it's an alphabetical list of our key arrows. See? Here are the armor and boxing glove shafts. The very ones you used tonight, GA.
That's certainly some coincidence. Yet all these arrows are well known. Why should criminals want them listed this way?
The archer's consternation only increases. The following evening, when the criminals strike again.
Wait, GA! Your crystal arrow is no good here. The thieves are wearing thick, dark glasses. Must try it anyhow.
And as the crystal reflects the streetlights in a dazzling glow,
You're right, Speedy. The glasses make the crystal arrow useless. I should have realized that. Got to stop them. The arrow line.
Yo! Where'd that rope come from?
It works. Quick, Speedy. Into the subway entrance.
but by the time the battling bowmen reach the train platform...
Too late. We saved the stolen money, but the crooks have escaped, and all because I'm using the wrong arrows. Steady, GA. Everyone's entitled to a few mistakes.
But in the days that follow, the ace archer continues his incredible errors.
What's happened to me? I just can't seem to pick the right arrow.
Meanwhile, in an underworld hideout...
Green Arrow's following my forecast to a T. Crooks are begging to buy my protection pamphlet.
Yeah, Barton. You can name your own price.
And he's only halfway through my alphabet of dud shots. I'll be a millionaire before he reaches the letter Z.
That very evening, as Green Arrow and Speedy grimly speed toward a crime scene...
According to this alphabetical list, your next shot will be with the lightning arrow. It's got to be wrong this time, Speedy.
But when they reach the city arena...
Those thieves have stolen the knight's receipts. My lightning arrow will stop them with a mild electric shock. No! They're wearing caps with lightning rods attached. The lightning will be grounded.
Sure enough, as the arrow releases its housed electricity...
Bzzz. Just as we planned. Lightning can't hurt us.
My eyes. What have I done? Why am I constantly shooting the wrong arrows?
Suddenly, a flash of anger fires Green Arrow's eyes, and...
I'm going to release every shaft in my sheath. One of them must be the right one. GA, calm yourself. Say, that exit leads out onto the docks.
A moment later...
My rocket arrow should slow them down. My topsy-turvy arrow will confuse them. This wheel arrow should trip them up.
Oh, Green Arrow must have snapped. He's firing all his arrows. That gimmick worked too good. He's used up all his alphabetical arrows.
Let's get out of here. The police are coming.
Soon after, as the stunned hoods contact Barton...
So that's the story, Barton. Now your alphabetical arrow pamphlet is no good. Green Arrow's gone through them all.
In that case, I'll just have to re-hypnotize our costume friend.
Thus, the following afternoon, as the Emerald Archer attends a benefit bazaar...
And Green Arrow has graciously offered to give free archery lessons for each $5 donation.
Oh, Green Arrow. Hold on, folks. I'll give you a sample shot right now. With my lariat arrow. Twing! Huh? What's the meaning of this, Green Arrow? I only came to donate my arrow diamond to the benefit drive. Cut the act, Barton. Just take us to where you have my arrow pamphlets stored. Fast.
And so, presently, when the police join Green Arrow at Barton's headquarters...
Good grief! You mean Barton hypnotized you into using each arrow he listed here? Right, Chief. He used that sparkling arrow diamond to put me into a hypnotic trance. Then, by post-hypnotic suggestion, he was able to make me fire those shafts in alphabetical order. But when GA fired the lightning arrow, The sudden shock of it broke the hypnotic spell. Yes, no hypnotist can force a person to perform actions against his sense of honor. But it worked on me because shooting arrows was a natural action for myself. And here's some ads.
So boys and girls, now you can get the official Superman playsuit. And join my fan club too. Yes, tell mom and dad that it's the gift you want. The official 4-piece Superman playsuit. In long-lasting rayon garbadine, complete with billowing cape. Only $6.98. You get a full bright red cape with Superman in gold right on the back. A shirt with the official Superman insignia, pants or a skirt, and a plastic belt. Don't forget to tell Mom the suit is made to stand up under lots of hard play. It's made of fine washable rayon gabardine in even sizes from 4 to 14. And there's a Supergirl here. This came out before Supergirl was introduced in 1959, the modern Supergirl. So this is it's kind of interesting how, like, the girl in the picture has blonde hair. And I think that might be a coincidence, though, but I'm not really sure. But be the first of your friends to get them. And free, with every Superman suit you will receive, a special comic magazine, a Superman fan club certificate, and an identification card. And a new scientific toy, Nutty Putty. Only $1. Nutty Putty, real crazy. A liquid solid. Amazing and fun. Roll into a ball, it bounces. Hit with hammer, it shatters. Pull it slowly, it stretches. Press it on a comic book, and it steals a perfect impression in color. Leave it alone, and it sinks into a tired little putty. Comes in a leak-proof plastic egg. You'll relax with this one, and really have a ball. It is made of the wonder material your parents have read about in Lifetime and other magazines. Truly a great new toy. This is the real thing. Bounce it, hit it. It's great fun. Mold it, stretch it. And here's the coupon with a money-back guarantee. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, just let me know in the comments, and I'll tell you when I can do the request. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.